Laser sights will make you a more accurate and confident shooter by providing visual feedback on sight alignment and trigger control. Crimson Trace, making laser sight standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
The number one national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
All right, back with you. Number here is 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. It is Gun Talk. We're talking about, well, the guns that you're buying, the guns you're shooting, even the guns that you may have inherited or you've got passed down to you from your grandma, grandpa, pappy, whomever. It doesn't matter. We're talking about pretty much anything as long as it's about shooting and owning guns safely and responsibly. Okay, fair enough. And we do like to talk about new guns. I want to just mention that. Because, I mean, come on. New stuff is always fun. And a chance to buy something new is always a cool thing, especially when it comes to guns. Fair enough to say that one of the epic fails in firearm introduction was a couple of years ago when Remington introduced the R51 9mm compact pistol. It was introduced to great fanfare, concealed carry gun, range gun. And the reality is it just didn't work. Well, they're back with it. And joining me right now to talk about that is John Fink from Remington. John, did I represent that fairly? That introduction of the R51 was not exactly a stellar success.
No, Tom, you're exactly right. It was not a stellar success, but it's one that I can, say that as a company, we learned greatly from. And it caused us as a company to totally review and change and look at our development processes and, what it takes to take something from concept to commercialization. And as a company, we are better for it, and going forward, our products will be better for it.
Well, what did you learn? I mean, you have now reintroduced the R51. I went up to Huntsville, Alabama, shot it with you guys, made a video on it. We posted that on our YouTube channel. What did the company learn? I guess, how is this a better gun now than what you had before, and what'd you do?
Well, there were a number of things that took place and happened from, the original 51 and the 51 that we had today. So the original was being built in Pineville, North Carolina. Not long after it was introduced there, we had also made the decision to transition that to our new facility that we were standing up in Huntsville, Alabama, where I'm proudly living today and working out of. Mm-hmm. So, anytime you move facilities, that is going to change things and change the way you do things. But we also went back to the R&D drawing board on this gun and made some very real changes to the internal, primarily around the disconnector. The old disconnector would slide up and down in the gun, and when you were racking the slide, it gave it a very ratchety feel to it. The new disconnector pivots around the pin, very smooth, very nice feel to it. But
so we set up a design change
all new manufacturing lines, in Huntsville, Alabama, and like I said, went back to the R&D testing board and tested this gun extensively. 2015, we shot, over 1 million rounds. Year to date, 2016, we've shot 1.2 million rounds. Just proving out everything that we did, was the right thing for the gun.
So, wait, you've shot more than 2 million rounds through R51s developing this latest version?
Yes, we have. And that's a lot of trigger pulling. And, I don't want you to assume that is all through a ransom rest. The vast majority of this was shot through human hands. I mean, we were pulling people from all over the organization to do this, to get a good cross-section of people, everything from petite females to big burly guys, people who've had a lot of shooting experience to people who'd never pulled the trigger on a gun before. And gathering all that information along with the real hard data of, what's going on with endurance shooting of a gun of this nature.
Where do you see this gun fitting? What's the market?
Really, this is a great concealed carry gun, self-defense gun. And what sets the 51 apart from all of its competitors is the Pedersen locking block versus a tilting barrel lockup. Every other, gun in its category out there is a tilting barrel lockup, which puts more mass in the slide, puts more mass above the center of gravity and higher in your hand, resulting in more torque and muzzle flip during the cycling of the gun. Pedersen locking block soaks up a lot of that recoil, so it's one of the softest shooting 9 millimeters out there, combined with the fact
and I will say,
it is rated for plus P.
It's very soft shooting. I shot like 200 rounds of plus P through it. It's soft shooting. Let me ask you this. I mean, the reviews are out. People are getting it. You've seen them. The reviews are mixed at this point. What's going on?
Yeah, the reviews are mixed. Most of the reviews that I've seen that were what I'll say mixed, I would contribute to ammo and ammo selection, some steel case and lower cost stuff. It doesn't like a whole lot. When you get into better brass case ammo, it digests it and feeds it without issue. And certainly anything plus P that you would carry in a self-defense or concealed carry scenario, it digests wonderfully.
Well, I know that when I was there, you guys were telling me that you discovered in the process of shooting this millions of rounds that magazines need to have 2 or 3 loads shot through them before they become reliable. I was not aware of that, but it kind of makes some sense. But I want to throw one other thought out. I shot a couple hundred rounds and had, 3 or 4 failures to feed. I would want a gun to run 200 rounds without a single failure before I would carry it. Is there a break-in period that you would consider normal on a pistol?
Yeah, I mean, Tom, I agree with you. For something that I'm going to trust my life or my family's life to, I want something that's going to run, at least 200 rounds without failure.
Right.
And any well-designed gun out there should be able to do that. I certainly recommend, people take it to the range with good quality ammo. And when I'm saying good quality ammo, like our UMC 9 millimeter.
It doesn't have to be the expensive stuff, but it just needs to be not foreign-made dirty junk.
Exactly. And, put some rounds on the gun. And I think, once you get over 100, 150 rounds, the gun should be well broken in at that point. Give the gun a cleaning, wipe it down, lube it up, and you should have a gun at that point that's going to run flawlessly for you.
Okay, and for those who haven't seen it, to be fair, I did grab 2 pistols off the line. We didn't lube them. They had not even been shot for quality control or anything, and I just took them to the range and just shot the heck out of them. So fair or unfair, I don't know, but it's what we did. But yeah, like I say, I would want, and I've always said you need to break in your gun. I would not want to carry a gun I had not put at least a couple hundred rounds through just to break it in, but also just to make sure that it runs. There's one other thing about this pistol, John, people need to understand. It's a lightweight pistol. It's very ergonomically designed. It feels good. But like a lot of small 9s, you really have to grip the devil out of it and lean into it to give that slide something to work against, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. If you, the commonly referred to as limp wristing, if you limp wrist this gun, you will have issues with it. So a good grip, good shooting technique is paramount, to having the gun function.
Okay, and the R51 this is an important gun for Remington, is it not?
It is. I mean, Tom, we've made no secret of the fact the handgun category is one that we are strategically focused on and focused on expanding. we've launched the RM380, and of course, going back to 2011 with the reintroduction of the 1911 R1 line that we've continued to grow since then. But last fall we introduced our 380 micro pistol, the little RM380, and now the 51, and there's more to come. So it is a critically important product for us.
Okay, well, John, I appreciate you spending some time talking about it. The R51 has been reintroduced for those who wanted one. They could hold out for it. I know you guys offered 1911 replacements for the early purchasers, and then spent a lot of time, actually more time and more money than you thought you were going to have to spend getting this thing ready.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. But we were not going to relaunch it, until it was absolutely right, and we were all internally, 200% convinced that the gun was ready to go.
All right, John Fink from Remington, thank you for spending some time with me today. The R51 has been reintroduced, 9mm. If you haven't seen it, you might want to take a look at it. It's pretty interesting looking. We'll be right back with more gun talk.
Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
FN handguns bear the DNA of legends, of John Browning, the father of modern firearms, of the artisans and craftsmen who brought his genius to life, of the brave souls who defended our freedom on the front lines for the last 100 years, and the brave souls who defend it on the home front today. FN handguns, the DNA of legends in the palm of your hand. Ask for FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
Okay, let's go straight to the phones for our patient people there. We're going to do Bill, Jim, and Robert. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going there. Line 1, Bill, South Charleston, West Virginia. What are you thinking here, Bill? Ammo? New ammo?
New ammo. I'm calling if you knew anything about a group called Ranger Scientific and their harmonized ammunition process. I've never heard of it before.
I've heard of a harmonica gun, but not harmonized ammo. What is that?
Well, my understanding, what it is this process where you order the ammunition specifically for your gun. You give them the serial number and everything off your gun. They send you 3 rounds of magazines or 3 different loads. You fire them and you return which load, the information as to which load you like to set coming out of your round or your gun. Then they try to harmonize it to your specific rifles, and you have a number to reorder. But I'd never heard of that until recently when they were talking about possibly a plant opening here in West Virginia.
This it must be rifle ammo, and there'd be no sense in doing this for handgun ammo. It sounds to me like all they're doing is just working up hand loads. I mean, that's all you do when you work up hand loads is you're matching the load to the gun, which is a form of harmonics.
So, but you've never heard of it. using this process commercially or that company itself?
No, I have not. I don't know who they are, and from your description, I'm kind of scratching my head trying to figure this thing out and going, okay, well, I can understand trying to make the best ammo you can, but to match particular rounds to a rifle is just saying we will custom hand load for you. I mean, that's what. Unless I'm missing something, that's what it sounds like. But I'll tell you what, I'll dig into it, Bill. I appreciate the call. I'll see if I can find out anything about it. You know what it actually sounds like? There's a lot involved here. It sounds like it might be.
It's kind of scientific.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, line 3, Jim is with us out of Kansas. Hey, Jim, you're on Gun Talk.
Hello, Tom. One comment about the Louisiana wetlands first, if you don't mind. I worked in the wetlands of Louisiana in the oil field. And if you take a piece of wetlands and you dredge on 3 sides of it, it sinks fast. That's how delicate that stuff is.
It is. I mean, it is. It's a delicate ecosystem. And the other thing is, it's important to people who are not in Louisiana. And that's what I keep trying to explain to people. If you live in Kansas, where you are, you've got waterfowl that are coming down and they're wintering where we are. If we lose this, it's a huge deal. And we are losing it fast. Anyway, that's another deal. Yes, sir.
Yeah, best crawfish in the world, too.
Amen, brother.
Okay, Tom, the reason I called, I'm going to talk to my congressman tomorrow, and I'm going to ask him to introduce a bill that requires car dealers, mechanics, anyone that deals with cars under the same restrictions as Obama has put on the rifle people and firearms people. I think it's only fair. More people die from car wrecks than from
the gun
rifles, firearms, and so they should be under the same.
I like where you're going. Okay, let's play with that a minute. Let's think about what could we do there. Okay, so first of all, you'd have to do a background check with the FBI involved if you buy a car. The FBI would have to say that you're an okay person. If you have any kind of criminal record, now you're not going to be a felony record. Can't do that. If you're under indictment, you can't buy a car. If you have a domestic violence misdemeanor conviction, you can't buy a car. Okay, that's one. What else can we do with this?
Well, make the mechanics be licensed manufacturers.
Oh, I like that. So if a mechanic has a criminal record, I'm sorry, you can't be a licensed mechanic either. Mm-hmm. So that would be cool. I like where we're going with that one. Maybe like in some states, we could say you could only buy one car a year because we would have rationing. The way they do is you can only buy one gun for a certain period of time. I like this. Michelle says, yeah, and you can't drive your car into another state.
Nope.
That makes sense. That's kind of like a lot of these guns, because you can't go into a lot of the states with your gun. So that's pretty cool. I like that one. Oh, Jim says, how about a 3-passenger capacity?
That's great.
Nothing bigger than a smart car for you people. I'm sorry. And if Jim's in there, it's like a two-passenger capacity because, I mean, he's like a big dude out there. No loan in your car. Okay, everybody's getting into this.
Yep.
Everybody's getting. This is a great concept. To your point, and obviously, Jim, what you're doing is saying, look, people, none of this makes any sense. Bad guys don't obey laws, and more people are dying in car accidents by far than gun accidents. And murders are down by half, even though we have more guns. So concentrating and putting restrictions on gun owners, gun stores, and gunsmiths is not just ineffective, it's actually counterproductive, but it does at least, and here's, I guess, the payoff on this, it does tell us what you're actually concerned with, which is making sure that you put more restrictions on lawful gun owners than you are with trying to do anything about crime.
Right.
Good idea. I like it, Jim. That was cool concept, man.
But, we can get it in the Congress. See, my congressman is a lame duck, so he's got nothing to lose by putting it in.
I like. While you're at it, have him throw in something that let's repeal the 1968 Gun Control Act, just altogether, completely. No such thing as licensed gun stores. No such thing as FFLs at all. You know, before 1968, your hardware store, your grocery store, your gas station, literally your gas station sold guns.
conversation. You bet.
Yeah, mail order. Good point. Yeah, but mail order. That's exactly right. You could order them from Sears, and they would mail you a gun. They had ads in Boy's Life. You could, if you sold enough magazines and things, subscriptions, you could get a gun. You could be 10 years old. No issues there. There you go. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I like that. Repeal the 1968 Gun Control Act. That'd be pretty cool. Let's see. Robert's in Reno, line 2. Hey, Robert, you're on Gun Talk.
Thank you, Tom. Listen, I purchased a used Walther PPKS 380, and it came with 2 magazines. And upon your recommendation, I heard you over the radio say, more magazines. So I bought a brand new real Walther magazine with the banner on the side, which indicated that the 2 magazines that came with the pistol were probably aftermarket. There's no marking on them whatsoever. And when I got the new magazine, the peepholes into the spring cage are marked 1 through 7. Now, the pistol is a 6+1, but the owner's manual says load the magazine to capacity, all 7 rounds, operate the slide to chamber the first round, which will leave a space in the magazine for the 7th round. Now, I was wondering if I eject the magazine and put that 7th round back in the mag and make it a 7+1, will it interfere with the operation of the loading the next cartridge or the ejecting of a spent casing?
No, it should not. Now, you want to verify that with your particular gun at the range, but what you just described is a very important point. When I load my carry gun, I put a full magazine in, I rack the slide. That will take 1 cartridge out of the magazine and put it into the chamber, and then I remove the magazine from the pistol, and I load 1 more round in the magazine. I put it back in the pistol. Now I have a fully loaded gun. Otherwise, you're 1 round down. If you just put a mag in and rack the slide and you carry it that way, that's 1 round that you're not carrying. Is that round going to be important? I don't know. I can tell you this. I don't want to be in a situation where I have to find out. So there you go. If you want a fully loaded gun, magazine in, rack the slide, magazine out, pop it off, magazine goes back in, good to go. Be right back.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Oh yeah, we're talking about guns. I guarantee, as we like to say down here in South Louisiana, I guarantee. Tom Gresham here. Our number 866-TALK-GUN. Just dial 1, Tom Talk Gun. Be sure to sign up for our Truth Squad newsletter. That is people who have volunteered to be part of the Truth Squad. Tell the truth. We have what we call a no-shrug policy in the Truth Squad. It is as simple as this. We will no longer just shrug when a politician, an elected official, an appointed official, a bureaucrat, or especially a member of the media just goes off and says nonsensical, bigoted, biased, prejudicial things about us, gun owners, about gun ownership in general, about gun laws, about self-defense. They lie, and we're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to take it anymore. That is what the Truth Squad is all about. So what we do is we just say we're not going to shrug. If we hear it, if we see it, we will challenge it and we will correct it. And here's the fun part of this. It's really effective because they're so used to getting away with this junk that nobody ever calls them on it. And if you challenge a reporter and say, no, when you say a gun in the home is 43 times more likely to kill a member of the family, that's not true. And it's these days, 20 years ago, you couldn't do this, but these days, you just find the link. Put in whatever the question is you want. Is a gun in the home really 40, blah, 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 and put it into an internet search. And there it is. Boom, there's the article. Oh, okay, it's been disproven. Yeah, the guy that put that study out had to retract it because it was biased and wrong. Oh, okay. Now you show it to the reporter and they go, oh, gee. And after a while they go, the gun control guys are just lying to me. They keep telling me this junk. And they say, assault weapon this, assault weapon that, and full automatic assault weapons. You go, well, actually, no, let me explain what the law is on this. And you challenge it. And here's the thing. You may not get a correction right away. You may not get a correction at all. But what sometimes happens, I'm tempted to say often, but let's just say what sometimes happens is over the course of weeks and months of you doing these gentle, not rants, but gentle corrections, you may not be aware of this, but I'm not sure you know about this law, so I'm offering this. After a while, you see a change in the coverage. And you become the trusted source. And you become the person who gives them useful information with data behind it, instead of the nonsense that Bloomberg and the moms demand action idiots give them. That's what the True Squad's all about. We no longer shrug and just say, that's the way it is. There's nothing I can do. Woe is me. I wish they wouldn't do that to us. No, BS on that. We're going to stand up. We're going to push back. There it is. Simple as that. So you can go to our True Squad newsletter, sign up, go to guntalk.com, and you can click on the links there and you can find it. I appreciate that. Line 3, Charles is in the state of California. Hey, Charles, what's this rifle you're talking about?
Yeah, I purchased a Macmillan 50 completely built by Macmillan well before the ban in California. And it's registered with the DOJ. That's mandatory. But I was going to tell you how it's so accurate, it's unbelievable. But what I was really wanting to know and wanting you to ask Ryan McMillan, what's he going to do if Hillary gets elected? I think that would have been a great question to ask him.
What do you mean?
What's a Navy SEAL going to do with his guns?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because Ryan, before those who don't know, earlier in the show, we interviewed Ryan McMillan from McMillan Gun Stocks and Graybo. It's Grayboe, Graybo Gun Stocks. He's a former Navy SEAL. It's a good question. There's no difference between if you're a former SEAL or if you're not, if you're just one of us. Let me flip it back on you, Charles. If they say you must turn in a gun, some guns, or all guns, what's Charles going to do?
What's that, 2 words? Moulin Labay?
Yeah, that's right. Come and take them. Yeah, okay, fine. Now let's back that up. How do we make sure that doesn't happen? Now what's Charles going to do this year before this election? Where are you on the election?
Oh, well, there's only one candidate to vote for. That's Donald Trump, obviously. Neither selection is the greatest, but by far he's head and shoulders above the number one liar in America. So there's nothing that you can believe that comes out of her mouth.
We got bad and better. I'm not saying we got great. We just have bad and we have better. Or not as bad. Exactly. Even if it could even be not as bad, that still qualifies as being better. Or you can, let's see, Gary Johnson's now pulling about 9%. Hillary's leading by 2, 3, 4%, depending on the polls. Let's see. What would happen if all of our I'm going to vote my conscience people suddenly said, I'm going to try to win? Oh, wow. There's a concept. And look, I appreciate the call. I am thoroughly convinced that a fair number of people on the gun rights movement are not really concerned about winning. You know what they want? They just want somebody to say, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. We're losing, but by golly, you're right. You know what? We could be right and win. What a concept. 866 Talk Gun.
Fans of Slip 2000 EWL gun lubricant will want to try EWL 30 this summer. The thicker EWL 30 sits up, migrates less, stays wetter longer, and will not dry out. Perfect for long-term storage. It also holds up better in hotter conditions while still providing the excellent high round count performance you have come to expect from the original EWL. Slip 2000. We're all about gun care. Learn more at slip2000.com.
As kids, we learned growing up, if you were going to hunt Webbit, you had to be very, very quiet. Oh. At silencershop.com, that's what we do. We make guns very quiet with state-of-the-art suppressor technology for every caliber you've got in your safe, from 22s up to the big boys. Minimal noise, less recoil, higher velocity, better accuracy. Do you honestly need another reason to get a silencer?
Oh, ask we Webbit.
Get the facts and get suppressed at silencershop.com, making the world a quieter place.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
The Ruger American Rimfire rifle combines features of the Ruger American rifle and innovations of the 1022 Rimfire rifle to appeal to all bolt-action enthusiasts. It features a modular stock system that provides comb height options for scope or iron sight use, a power bedding integral bedding block system for outstanding accuracy, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, and a 1022 style rotary magazine for reliable feeding. The Ruger American Rimfire rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
All right, we are open lines for you. If you'd like to join us, we have a place for you. Just give me a holler, 866-TALK-GUN, a gun that you have that you want some information on. If I don't know, I'll just make it up. Okay, so that'll work. So we still have Ed on 4 there, I believe. Let's pull Ed in from Eugene, Oregon. Hey, Ed.
Yes, sir.
What you got?
I have a .284 Winchester semi-automatic. I know nothing about it except that I've had it for several years, and I wondered if there was any information that you had on it as far as accuracy and at what distances.
Sure. Now, I'm guessing that what you have is a Winchester Model 100. Is that the model number on it?
I'm not in Oregon at the present time. I'm calling you from California. And,
okay, let me ask you this: it's a wooden stock with a detachable magazine, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's a Winchester Model 100. I killed my first deer with a Winchester Model 100 when I was 11 years old, more than 50 years ago.
Wow.
This was introduced. The .284 cartridge was introduced in 1963. Let's see what to know about that. Let's see. First of all, there was a recall on the Model 100. It would be worthwhile checking with Winchester Firearms and to see if they have a record of this serial number having gone through the recall. It was a safety recall. I can't remember the specifics on it, but you want to make sure that has been done. So that's first. Now, that's like 25, 30 years ago, but you want to check on that first. Beyond that, it was a delightful rifle, not hugely accurate by today's standards, but this is 50 years ago, remember? But it was probably a 2 to 3 inch gun at 100 yards. Now, here's the question. Do you know anything about the .284 cartridge itself?
I know nothing about them. No, I just some came with it, and I purchased 1 or 2 boxes since then.
All right. It was a cool, interesting concept. It is they call it a rebated rim. They were able to make the case of the cartridge fatter, larger diameter, but still use the smaller diameter rim on the bolt face, so they didn't have to go to a different bolt face. What it really was supposed to do was kind of be like a 270 in a short case, but it's really more like what now the popular 7mm08 cartridge. But it's an honest, let's see, I'm trying to think what it compared to. It compares to the 284 or the 270 or the 7mm08. I mean, it's a nice rifle and a really nice cartridge. Were you going to shoot it, hunt with it? What's your plan?
Well, I don't see well anymore, and don't hear well. I'm 89 years old.
Okay.
But I thought I might still go out maybe and go elk hunting or something up there.
Well, this would be a perfectly adequate elk cartridge. Nothing wrong with that if you have good ammunition for it. But before you shoot it, I would seriously recommend that you contact Winchester and give them the serial number off of that gun and see if they have a record of the safety recall of having been performed on that. But if that's been done, I would say shoot it and have some fun with it.
I will certainly do that, and I thank you so much. And I'm in complete and absolute 100% on this Hillary Clinton thing. And real fast, I signed up as a Democrat when I got out of the Navy in 1947, and I voted for Truman, which was also a mistake. And I do not, just because I registered as a Democrat, I can think for myself. I wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton if 3 people with clubs were beating me. Thank you.
Wow. Okay, there you go. Ed, I think you win the prize today on how do you feel about this stuff. Wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton if 3 people were beating me with clubs. Wow, there you go. Line 2, Justin's out of Colorado. Hey, Justin, you're up.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm great. What's up?
Well, I was in the local farm and ranch store, actually looking for washers and dryers for my wife and me. And I went by their gun counter, and they had the Springfield Armory Chris Kyle Memorial 1911.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a price tag of $2,500, so I did what anyone in my position would do and asked if they had layaway. They said yes. I said okay. My wife said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, this is 341 of 1,000."
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, do you think it's going to depreciate the value once I get it if I shoot it? It's a pretty sweet.
Well, let's talk about that, because there are 2 different kinds of value. There's the value of resale, which I don't think that gun will go up, frankly. I don't think it's going to appreciate. I don't think that's an investment. And then there's the value of pride of ownership, which is every time you pull the trigger on it, you're going, man, that is a lot of value. I love having this gun. I love the fact that it's a memorial for Chris Kyle. I love all of that. And I'm not going to sell it anyways, so I don't care about it. That stupid stuff about, oh, you'll decrease the value if you shoot it. If you're not going to sell it, it doesn't matter. If it were me, I would shoot the devil out of that, and I would remember Chris Kyle every time I shot it, and I would be appreciative for the sacrifices that all of our veterans make. Good on you. Layaway. Cool. Put some money down on it. Keep paying on it. Pick that thing up. Man, that's very cool. There aren't a lot of guns you're going to buy that are going to appreciate unless you're spending tons of money on them, honestly. And I don't think a run of 1,000 is a real investment, but it's pretty cool and collectible if that's where you want to go with it. But at the same time, I put a lot more value in a gun that shoots well and looks great. So that one's going to look good, have a story behind it, and it's going to shoot for you. For me, that's what gun value is all about. Oh, man, having some fun. Yes, I am my own enabler. I did just buy a big box full of AR mags. Yes, I already had some. No, that's not fair. That's not right. I already had a lot, but a lot's almost enough. It's kind of like they said, too much horsepower is almost enough. Same deal here. Too many mags is almost enough. Same with ammo. I would love to say, you got to go out and buy magazines or ammo and everything to prepare for the aftermath of the election or what's coming up with the buying and all that. But that's kind of a negative view, isn't it, actually? Rather than that, why don't we just work to make sure that Hillary Clinton does not get elected? And for those who may have just stumbled on this, look, I'm pretty much a single-issue voter. My issue is freedom. My litmus test for freedom is guns and gun ownership. If you tell me you want to put restrictions on me and other law-abiding gun owners because you somehow think that's going to make bad guys behave or make it harder for them to get guns, then I have to simply say you're an idiot. But more than that, you're a statist. More than that, you're a fascist. You are a person who wants to clamp down on freedoms, and I won't abide that. So, my thought for you is this. Rather than say, I'm going to go buy ammo, I'm going to go buy magazines. I mean, of course, I'm always buying ammo and magazines. That's not an election deal. That's just what I do. And I buy them the same places you do. I just go online and buy them, okay? I've got good gun stores around here. I buy stuff. But rather than go down that rabbit hole, could we do this? Could we all just say, okay, I'm going to redirect my efforts. You're going to redirect your efforts. We're going to work to make sure we don't get a Hillary Clinton selected Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court is what this election truly is all about. She may or may not be able to get stuff done in Congress, but she absolutely can and will get things done in Congress. In the Supreme Court, she wants a Supreme Court that will overturn the Heller and McDonald decisions. She wants a Supreme Court that will say you don't have a right to own a gun. Understand that when she says, well, I support the Second Amendment, to her, that's consistent. It's just simply that she doesn't think the Second Amendment says you have a right to own a gun. For her, and for a lot of people like Hillary, the Second Amendment means the National Guard, the government, can have guns. It has nothing to do with you having a gun. And so they're very consistent, and they're very comfortable with the concept of, I support the Second Amendment, and I want to ban guns. And of course, we're thinking, well, those two are mutually exclusive. You can't have both of those views. Well, for them, this makes perfect sense. So, back to our point. We are 71 days out now. Can I ask you to get involved? What would that involve? I don't know. Sending $10 to a candidate, volunteering, putting up yard sign for the presidential candidate or maybe the Senate candidate or candidates. Just basically making a commitment, getting involved, doing something. It's not that hard. It's not that involved. It's not that expensive. It does require the one thing that we all have exactly the same amount of, which is time. We all have an infinite amount of, not an infinite, rather, amount of time. So that's precious. If you will give that, you can make a difference. If we make a difference, we can win. We win by making sure that Hillary doesn't get in there and stack the Supreme Court. Just keep thinking, it's the Supreme Court, it's the Supreme Court, it is the Supreme Court. In the meantime, make your commitment. Get your training, carry everywhere, take care of your family, and by all means, tune in next week right here for Gun Talk.